Hello there. It's been a time since I made a video. It's a couple of months ago, or maybe even longer. Time to get back to it. So, what I want to talk about this evening is, or whenever you're watching this, morning, afternoon, is about how when we're reacting really strongly, we're not actually feeling. That may sound like a very odd thing to say because it looks like there's a lot of strong feeling emerging, but in fact, that's not the case, and I'll tell you why. That's because what is under the feeling that whatever we're expressing so strongly is often more threatening and more difficult to experience than what's being expressed. And when we express whatever it is, we, as it were, unload it onto the other person. We've all experienced that. We've all either done it or been the recipient of that kind of action. So what happens then is that there's a kind of inability to actually feel what is going on for us. And we have usually developed a survival strategy, and that survival strategy may involve exploding at other people. It may involve withdrawing completely. There are a whole lot of different survival strategies, and you probably know a bit about what your favourite ones are. Not that they really feel comfortable, but they are familiar somehow. And they feel like the only way to handle the situation. There doesn't seem to be an option when you're in it. So what I want to look at is why we have difficulty actually feeling and not just, as it were, reacting. Usually that is because whatever it is we're experiencing was not acceptable, was not within the range of emotions that would be allowed around us, or that we feel that it's okay to express, that somebody's going to disapprove of it. So that can, oddly enough, this may seem a little dramatic, but it can feel really dramatic too, is it may feel like a matter of life and death. If I really let out what I'm feeling, how deeply sad I'm feeling, how deeply hurt I'm feeling, how extremely angry I am, then it's the world's going to end, the sky's going to fall. Although intellectually we know that's not the case, it can feel like that's going to happen. So when there's a case of anger being expressed, exploding often, this is usually an indication that there's something underlying these explosions that the person feels they can't contain, they can't countenance, they can't actually feel into it and be with it, so they explode. And exploding is not a very pleasant experience either for the exploder, and for the recipient who's usually in the other end of it, it's not a good feeling either. So what can we do about that? Well, I think one of the most important ways of learning more about ourselves in that sense is witnessing. Now, witnessing means that we have someone else who's present, who can actually be with those feelings and support us in feeling them. Not all of us have somebody around us who can do that. Not all of us can afford to go to see a therapist. Not all of us want to. But so what else can we do? One of the things we can do is breathe. Connecting to our body really can help us just be with what is, rather than being purely reactive, withdrawing completely, or yelling and shouting, or getting physically violent. So using your breath just to soothe yourself and get back into your body, as it were, because quite a lot of those feelings are very disembodied as well. So another way that I was thinking of this, and I thought I have to make a video about this because it came up again in a session I did recently with somebody, and I was thinking, oh yeah, that's how it works. And how we, with our partner, if they're experiencing something that makes, my partner's experiencing something that makes me feel uncomfortable, then what I will do, if I'm not aware enough is I will try to get them to stop feeling the way they feel. And that may be carefully packaged in being caring and kind. But it's not always really kind, because it's about actually that I want to deal with my own anxiety, or I can't deal with my own anxiety, which arises if I see you feeling whatever you're feeling, whether you're feeling depressed or whatever it is, that I can't handle the anxiety that it brings up for me. Therefore, I try to get you to change. I try to make you get, or help you get out of your mood. And unfortunately, the effect of that is to make the other person feel pressured. So it works the opposite way to the way we intended. So what we need to learn to do, if this is happening in relationship, what we need to do anyway in relationship, is learn to be more aware of what's happening in ourselves and be willing to self-soothe, to do something to take care of ourselves, and breathe deeply before intervening in how your partner's feeling or your friend is feeling, and try and change how they're feeling. That, especially if that happens kind of over a longer term, it really doesn't work very well, and leads to both people feeling disconnected and powerless. So again, the suggestion, breathe. When you notice if you're interested in this, if you're interested in finding out more about yourself and what your so-called triggers are, although I don't really like that word, it's thrown about all over the place these days, but the things that really set you off or make you feel really hurt or angry, if you want to find out more about that, just notice when that happens and take the time to breathe and just allow yourself to feel what is happening in me at this moment. Feel your body, feel your feet on the ground. This works for most people, not for everybody, but feel your feet on the ground, feel your backside on the chair, feel the weight of your body. Bring yourself back into your own body so that you're not left sort of hanging in space and being really discombobulated and dysregulated and not knowing what to do. So yeah, that's how it works. And the first part of it is about learning what we're responding to in ourselves, being willing to countenance that most of us, if not all of us, have a part in us that feels really quite powerless and can feel really abandoned, and will do anything to protect ourselves against that. So you get sort of trying to change the other person, or trying to get them to look after you, and not really recognizing how deeply helpless you feel or how deeply hurt you feel, and trying to get the other person to take that away doesn't work either when you don't fully realize or you don't fully embrace just how you're really feeling. Now, the reason people find that difficult is because, like I said earlier, it just feels unsafe. And you may again think that's a rather dramatic word. What? Unsafe? I don't feel unsafe. Don't know what you mean. Actually, if you just let it in a little bit, just let that sink in a little bit. When do you feel unsafe? So that you can learn a little bit more about yourself. You can be kinder to yourself and more compassionate. And this is one of the reasons what I said about witnessing earlier. One of the reasons I'm thinking more and more about this is that I feel, in a way, we need each other in groups or in relationship. But we need each other as witnesses to our lives and to reflect back to us the things we cannot, that we just cannot access at a particular moment in ourselves. And that may be just saying, it's okay, you're safe, you're all right, it's okay. You're safe here. So I'm getting more and more interested in doing this in smaller groups, so that because I've seen the power of that so many times in my life. And last time in a workshop that I was giving in Tuscany with my dear friend and colleague Faye Blake, and the group did a great job of containing a process which was very, very energetic and wild, and so that the person who was in that process felt safe to express very deep feelings. And it's wonderful when that happens. It's real healing. So I'm going to be setting up more of that. If you're interested, get yourself on my mailing list. If you're not already on it, you can find it on my website, www.zeldahall.com. Or just send me a mail. If you have any questions of any of this, send me a mail, send me a WhatsApp. I'll be happy to answer you. Bye.